Riftbound, the League of Legends TCG, is launching globally later this year. And I don't want to jinx anything, but our pre-order sales have been going crazy, and people seem really excited about this game. So thanks to a coworker of mine, I found an opportunity to play with the demo decks that have been floating around for a couple months, I think now. We gave Riftbound a shot, not only a bunch of 4-player games, but a bunch of 1v1 games. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 first impressions that I have about the Riftbound TCG from playing the game, as well as paying attention to all of the recent news about the game. So let's jump right into it. What's up everyone, it's Dan with Main Deck, and welcome to our first impressions of the Riftbound League of Legends TCG. Based on my experience playing some demo decks, we played multiplayer, we played 1v1, and then I've just been watching the news that's been coming out and paying attention to things going on, joining the Discord, all that stuff. Now, if you're looking for a how to play Riftbound, if you're expecting to get kind of a rules breakdown from this video, unfortunately, I'm not going to go too in depth into exactly how to play the game, but I am going to link a video from friend of the channel, CardGameCrypt, down in the description below. CardGameCrypt has a great how to play video. We might still do one sometime in the future, but go ahead and click the link down there if you want to get the how to play, and then feel free to swing back to see what I think about the game after you kind of understand the mechanics. Without any further ado though, let's jump right in. We've got 5 areas to cover today. We're going to start with number 5. My number 5 first impression, maybe the most important one, I guess, depending on your perspective, but Riftbound is a ton of fun to play. I really enjoyed playing this game, honestly. Especially, and the thing I want to really focus on is the multiplayer mode was surprisingly good. Now, as you guys can guess, I've played a lot of multiplayer TCGs. I've given them a shot, and some are better, more fun than others. It just depends. And some are more politics based than others. One thing that really stood out to me about Riftbound was that it felt immediately less like it was about politics and maneuvering that way, and king making at the end wasn't really much of a thing. It didn't seem like it was too important in this game. And a lot of that is really due to this battlefield system that the game uses, where there's going to be, in a 4-player game, there's going to be 3 battlefields out there. And players are moving to either try and hold or capture them and being tactical. We'll talk a little bit more about some mechanical things I like later on, but all of that really allows players a bit of freedom to not have to just go, well, I'm gonna attack you, I guess, because I don't want you to win. It's, instead of fighting each other player, it's fighting these battlefields and just trying to hold them in more of a King of the Hill sense, right? King of the Hill isn't so much about king making until, I guess, everybody gangs up on one person, which is a thing that can happen. But as long as you hold the hill, you get the points, except there's 3 hills. And so if you don't think you can team up with people, don't go to a different hill, go to a different battlefield. And I think the way that works in the game is really clever, and it allows that multiplayer game right out of the box to be a game where everybody gets to play really until the very end of the game. Everyone's at play, everyone's got actions to make, and that really made it feel just like a lot of fun to play. Now, it worked really well too in 1v1. Certainly was a really fun experience there. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but my very first thing I have to mention is, man, I really did enjoy it. I wanted to keep playing this game. I wanted to keep playing multiplayer. It was great, and I am kind of excited. I'm pretty pumped to get my own constructed decks and see how it works when you have the full card pool to explore as far as like multiplayer interactions or anything. So that was number 5. The game is really fun, especially in multiplayer. Number 4. The graphic design, wow, it got improved. Because if you saw the first ones, I'll have one right here on the screen, but it was just One Piece. And I mean, no shade to One Piece, actually, maybe just like just a slight. Okay, like One Piece has very nice looking higher rarity cards, but this base, I'm not like a massive fan of the way that the base One Piece cards look, and that was like everything we saw for Riftbound in the initial demo decks. That was what we played with in our demo decks as well, because they haven't released the final graphic design for all this stuff. But these new ones, now this looks way better. This I like. This gold framing is so nice, and of course the full art and the dark and sort of vibrant colors on everything. this looks better. This looks good. Huge shout out to Riot for getting that figured out, getting these to look beautiful. I'm so excited to see now the rest of the cards that get spoiled. These are gonna look good. Foils? The foils are probably going to look so sick for this game too, and I know there's going to be some chase rarity stuff as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love the new graphic design direction. That was a huge thing that initially I was like, I don't really know if I care about this game because the graphic design just looks so, well, they just took one piece and put it right there, and that was it. And this is so much better. This shows some care. This shows some actually listening to feedback and responding to it, and I'm super happy about that. So number 4. Way to go. Improved graphic design. It looks much nicer now. Now, number 3, first impression. This is going to be the most critical I think I'm going to be in this video, but hear me out on this. I am slightly, just slightly concerned about balance in this game, and let me explain why. Right away, of course, the demo decks that we saw, they definitely had some imbalance to them. In particular, the Jinx deck was like really quite powerful, had the ability to draw multiple cards without really skipping a beat, had these powerful effects that could just nuke things on the board. This rocket, this thing, just nuke something and then pitch a card, which is super easy to do for the Jinx deck and also tends to work towards their advantage. Take it back to hand. You can nuke something every single turn. This was a little oppressive, actually, like really, really good. And there's some other cards that I think we could bring up in the balance discussion from the, but this is demo decks, okay? So like, I don't put like a lot of stock into the demo decks being not super balanced because these are super early on. They're not always just going to hit like the card pool that you're looking for like true competitive, like metagame balance. But it is something that makes me go, okay, you know, let's take a look at this. The thing that I'm like a little more concerned about is that the game wasn't initially planned to be released outside of China, or at least it wasn't locked in or anything. There was some surveying, and from seeing things like the sort of slapped together graphic design that I talked about in number 4, I'm not certain that it's tough for me to know if the initial design of Riftbound had a lot of long-term planning, or if it was more of something like, yeah, it's just put a game out, see what happens in China, see if they like it. That said, on both those accounts, we've seen some movement in the right direction. On the first thing I mentioned, just the balance of the demo decks, we've already seen, you can see in these newer graphic design cards that there are already nerfs and balance adjustments and improvements where they're definitely taking a harder look, I think, at a more critical eye at some of these cards. So we may well come out with absolutely no issues related to that whatsoever. And then number 2, we've seen already a lot of movement in the, we already talked about the graphic design, but also things like just communication in general. We saw a wonderful video from Riot about the game and designing future sets. So we definitely know that they're, if they weren't before, they are now taking a look at a longer term. You know what? There might be something here that goes the distance. And so that makes me not super concerned necessarily about those, but it is just something that it was a first impression I had, like, as someone who looks at a lot of card games, look at this like, is this trying to plan for the future? I wasn't positive, but looking at it more now, looking at what's happened since then, definitely looks more balanced, more stable, I think is the word we're looking for there. Going forward. So I am very hopeful. I'm optimistic that I think they've got the right direction and they're going to take this thing and make it something great. So that was my number 3, just slight concerns about balance, but everything will probably be okay. Now my number 2 is related to one of the products that's launching with Riftbound, and that is the Proving Grounds box set. Wow. What a product. Can you guys believe this? This product is 4 pre-constructed decks with multiplayer built in. The whole idea is to grab these with a group of friends and play multiplayer with this. It's got a $35 MSRP, but a lot of places, including us, are selling it for $30. $30 out of the box, 4 pre-constructed decks, just the materials to play, including some really cool things like these acrylic standees that are included. This is really a TCG board game in a box. You can pick this up with your League of Legends loving friends and just try playing the game, experience the multiplayer, not just free for all, but 2v2 also built into the rules right away, which should also work great based on how just, our experience playing multiplayer already. I love this idea. This is something I've been saying more games need to do. I've been talking about this for other games like UVS and Altered, games that are trying to support fun multiplayer experiences but don't have a product on the shelf to do so. This is it. This is the thing I've been talking about. This is what I've been looking for. And this is what I'm going to be recommending people pick up if they like League of Legends and just want to try the game out. What an excellent, excellent way to do it at such a good price point. I'm a huge fan of this Proving Grounds box set, so it makes my number 2 on the list. If you're not sure, just pick this up and try it when it launches, guys. I bet you will at least get an idea of whether or not you like the game and not feel like you spent too much at all, or maybe just have a fun board game night experience now to play with your friends sometimes. Great item, definitely worthy of the number 2 slot. All right, and my number 1 first impression that I took away, I was trying to make this different than the number 5 one, but I really think it is. It's that the mechanics in Riftbound are great. They're cool. They're awesome. They're fresh. They're pretty fresh in general, I think. Like some things, some things we've seen in different situations were kind of different. But it's being done in, I think, a very novel way, with a set of systems that all feel like fresh enough, and together makes a very, very nice game. First of all, shout out, there's a mechanic called ganking in the game. Come on, guys, come on. That is, the League of Legends flavor is excellent there. I love they just went for it and they're like, yeah, no, it's just called ganking. That's so cool. That's awesome. But that aside, like seriously, I mentioned the battlefields already and how well they work in multiplayer, but in 1v1, there's an extra cool factor to these battlefields where both players are bringing battlefields to play in every game. You each put one out. You have 3 battlefields that you bring. And the coolest thing, honestly, that I thought about this game and reading the rules was that with those 3 battlefields, when you're playing a best 2 out of 3 match with your opponent, you never use the same battlefield twice, meaning once you use one in game 1, you have to bring out a different battlefield for game 2 and then a different battlefield if you go to game 3. Which is really cool. It means every time you're going to use all 3 of them, it's not just like you bring one battlefield for your deck and you always play on that one. And it's going to open, I think, the doors for some more tactical decisions that are going to be just kind of interesting, kind of fun. I love that idea. I think that's really cool. Speaking of the battlefields and tactical decisions in general, the way you play around them is really interesting. I think the way that you're trying to score points by either capturing battlefields or holding them leads you to some really interesting tactical decisions of, actually, I think my character is better at attacking, or I have these characters that are better at attacking, and I don't think I'm going to leave enough of a defense up, so maybe I'm going to try to find a way to retreat my guys off of this. You give your opponent a free capture, but then you can maybe come in stronger next turn and put up a better defense. But if you can sit there and hold it as well, if you can actually defend it, you can score points that way too. So capture or hold, retreat, or just go for it, try and maintain it. I think that stuff is all really fun. I think the battlefield system really allows for some interesting decisions. And then the fact that you can't cross battlefields without that ganking ability opens up really cool design space like we've already seen on the Yasuo card as well. Really, really cool stuff with the battlefields. I love what they're doing. And then the resource mechanic in this game really, really, I thought was clever. Every single turn you're getting out a couple more resources that you can use from your resource deck to spend and play bigger and bigger cards. However, the better cards in the game require you to sacrifice some number of those resources as power in order to play them. So what a cool tension every turn is like, especially in the early turns. I can put out something really powerful early on that has a lower resource cost but a power requirement, so I'm sacrificing resources. But now if I'm trying to build to something that costs even more, play multiple things in a turn, I'm slowing myself down on that front. I love a system that has a risk reward like that, where you have to decide, should I push for it? Should I use more resources and kind of burn a little bit brighter right now, but peter out a little bit faster later on? Or do I just say, no, I'm okay playing these more average quality cards, but it means I'm going to get to ramp a little faster than my opponent? What do you do when your opponent starts sacrificing? Do you sacrifice to stay with them, or do you just try and win at the longer game by creating more resources? I love that. Really, really fun. Really cool design. Got me really excited to keep playing the game, keep exploring, and see more of the cards that are coming out. In general, really enjoyed the mechanics of the game. Would love to play it again. So that is my number one. Those mechanics, they're good. They're good, and they're going to be awesome to explore. So that's going to do it. Those are my 5 first impressions about Riftbound TCG. Now, what I'd love to hear from all of you is your experience. Have you gotten to try Riftbound, or have you looked at the rules? What do you think of it? Leave a comment down below, please, if you can. Let me know what you think. Or maybe you just want to talk to me more, have a question about one of my first impressions. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about what I had to say about Riftbound. We're definitely looking at covering the game more going forward because it was a lot of fun, and I like what I'm seeing here. So I would love to have you guys along for the journey. If you did enjoy this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of TCGs here, but Riftbound is definitely going to be creeping up as one that we're going to start looking at a little bit more. So if you don't want to miss that stuff, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you all in the next one.